Hi, it's Mr. Melick. Today we are going to talk about how to draw the human face. Now, getting the shape of the head can be difficult, so we are going to use a handy-dandy template. Now, this template may look like a funny mannequin head, and it is supposed to. You will notice it has this going down the side. This says half. This is a halfway mark. This is halfway between the top of the skull, top of your head, and the bottom of your chin. That is where the human eyes are most often placed. Now, we're all different. Some of us, our eyes may be a little higher, our eyes may be a little lower, but generally speaking, the eyes are halfway between the top of your head and your chin. What we're going to do is we're going to put our paper on top of that template, and we're going to go ahead and trace. Just to make this a bit easier to get that shape of the head. The shape of the head is kind of like an egg shape, and that is because the top of our head is large and round because we have big brains, and the bottom of our chin comes down kind of to a point because we have jaws, and they come down sort of to a point, making that skull shape, that head shape, into an egg shape. So I'm going to go and trace the head, and I'm going to go ahead and trace the neck, and down to the shoulders. And this is a good place to start. Now here I have two dots. I'm going to make two little dots here. This is where the eyes are going to go. The center of the pupils fall right about there. When I go to draw the eye, I'm going to start with the eye. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the upper eyelid, where the eyelashes are. And to do that, I'm going to make a low, lazy rainbow arch. Low, lazy rainbow arch. It should not touch this side of the head. That's not as far as your eye goes. It should start somewhere around here, go somewhere around here. I'm going to make the other one on the other side, low, lazy rainbow arch. And there's about an eye's width between each eye. So if you want to section it out, it'd be 1, 2, 3 of about the same distance. Now, the next thing I'm going to draw is the iris and the pupil. The iris and the pupil are that circle part in the center of your eye. This dot is the center. Don't leave this as your pupil, because that would mean a very bright light is shining on you, or you are very surprised. If you can see the top of someone's iris, that means their eyes are open very, very wide and they're very surprised. You don't want that. We want to draw a nice, relaxed person. So I'm going to crop the top of that iris circle on that eyelid so that that eyelash lid falls over the top of that iris pupil circle, making it look nice and relaxed. And I'll draw the pupil in the center there, and I will leave a small space where the light shines, and I will color the rest of that pupil in dark, dark, dark. The pupils are dark, dark, dark. I'll go over here. I'll do the same thing. I'll draw that circle with the top cropped, and I got it a little off, but that's okay. I'm going to draw that pupil in the center. I'll leave that white space, and I'll color that pupil in dark, dark, dark. Now the iris has rays that go out from the pupil to the edge like rays of the sun. You get those in there, and you've got a basic eye. Now, right now, I've got a basic eye, but now I'm going to draw the lower eyelid in, and I'm not going to connect it to this point, and I'm not going to connect it to this point. It's going to be a low, lazy, upside-down rainbow arch that does not connect, and it's going to be much lighter. That's because line indicates shadow. Light is almost always, not always, but almost always coming at us from above. So the upper eyelid creates a shadow. So I can even darken in that upper eyelid, and this is also where the eyelashes go. Now, whether you're drawing a boy or you're drawing a girl, newsflash, boys have eyelashes too. To make the eyelash, you follow that line, that low, lazy rainbow arch, and you flare up just a little. Flare up just a little, just a little, just a little. Our eyelashes are most prominent at the edges. even though we have them all the way toward the inside. Toward the very inside, we have almost nothing there. Over here, I'll do the same thing. I'll put those eyelashes in. If you are wearing mascara, then you will have heavy, dark eyelashes. If not, your eyelashes will be much lighter. Depending on who you're drawing, you will have darker or lighter eyelashes. Some people have blonde eyelashes, and they are hardly visible. Some people have very dark eyelashes. The lower eyelid also has eyelashes, but they are very, very light. I'm going to just lightly sketch those in, lightly dot those little dashes in for those eyelid lashes on the lower lid. The corner of the eye, I'm not even gonna define that very much, because line cuts into the drawing. Now, if I were doing a very detailed face, I would very lightly do the corners of those eyes, but since we are just beginning here, I'm going to go ahead and leave those blank. The next thing I'm going to do is the eyebrows. The eyebrows really set the face. Eyebrows come in all shapes and sizes. Men tend to have bigger, bushier eyebrows. Myself, my eyebrows are like two big caterpillars that come across my head. Women sometimes pluck their eyebrows, and they will have thinner eyebrows. But most people tend to have eyebrows that are a little fuzzy. They're not quite clean. They're just a little fuzzy, and they're an arch. Sometimes they're flatter, sometimes they're archier, sometimes they have a point that comes right up about here and comes back down here. It's sometimes called a comet shape. And there we have a general eyebrow of a human being. I'm going to come down, and the next thing I'm going to do is the ears, and I have one here on my template. The ear starts right about where the eye, the corner of the eye comes out here, and the top of the ear. The ear has a special shape. You can look at a person and try to draw that exact shape, but just try to get an ear shape. It comes up, a little in, a little out, down, and I'm going to give this person an ear lobe. Some people's ears are attached, but this person I'm going to give an ear lobe. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to repeat that on this side. Going to get that ear shape. It's a special shape, but if you practice it, if you look at the human ear, you will kind of get it after a while. I'm not even going to bother putting in the details of the ear right now. I'm going to move down to the nose. The nose. Now we're going to keep this simple. I'm not going to draw the bridge of the nose because lines cut into a drawing, and if you draw straight lines down the nose, you're going to have a Mr. Potato Head nose. So right here I have a mark, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the line that indicates the shadow underneath the nose. I'm going to do that by drawing a line over, and it dips down where the ball on the end of the nose is, and it comes back up. And I can go back in, and I can darken it here on the edges to indicate those nostrils. And just one line, a little darker on the edges, with a dip in the center, and comes out here, and that it will indicate the nose. If you want, you can put a little line here, and a little line here to indicate the sides of the nostrils. And if you really want, you can do a very light line here and a light line there, and you will have a bridge to your nose. Next, I'm going to do the mouth. I'm going to go ahead and draw that mouth. I'm going to start here at this dash here. I'm going to put two dots, one here and one here. I'm going to put dots. I'm going to start the line of that mouth. I'm going to do the line of the upper lip. It comes from the corner, it swoops up toward the center, and then dips down and back up and dips back down to that other corner, and you have a basic upper lip. The center of the lip is going to be the darkest line, and it's going to come straight over, dip down very slightly, come back up and come back over, and I'm going to darken that in because, like I said, lines cut into the drawing, and that is where the space in between our lips is. Now when I draw the underside of the lip, if I connect it to this corner and do that low lazy rainbow arch all the way underneath, it will look like this person is wearing heavy lipstick. I don't want that. I want just a shadow underneath the lower lip. So I'm not going to connect that line. I'm going to draw this line here to indicate the shadow under the lip. The size of the lips varies greatly between people. Some people have smaller lips, smaller mouths. Some people have larger lips, larger mouths. Depending on who you're drawing, it will vary. So now I have a bald person. Now this could be a boy or a girl. I'm going to go ahead and give this person long hair. I'm going to make this a girl. She has thin eyebrows. She has nice eyelashes. I'm going to go ahead and say that this is going to be a girl. Now, hair does not sit on top of our head. Our hairline starts somewhere in the middle. Some of us have high foreheads. Some of us have lower hairlines. The size of your forehead depends on where your hairline starts. But it is never, unless you've shaved your head way back, it is never up here. It is always somewhere down here in the middle. So I'm going to start here in the middle. And since this is going to be a girl's hair, I'm going to give her a part. And I'm going to start that hair. I'm going to put a dot right here. And I'm going to draw a little light line here, and that's going to be the part of her hair. And her hair is going to come down and swoop over and down like that. And the hair does not cling to the top of our head. It sits a little ways above. And I'm going to come down here and draw that hair. I'm going to draw the other side of that part. I'm going to draw here. And now the hair is going to swoop behind this ear. Now, girls, I know this may feel kind of like a sideburn, but unless you have a very bad barber, you almost always have a little hair that comes down over the corner of your ear. And we'll draw the hair that goes behind the head, and we can define that chin a little more, make it a little more defined, round out that chin, come around, draw a line for the neck of the shirt, and I'll finish the hair on top of the head because, like I said, it does not cling to the top of your head, and I can add some lines to indicate that hair. The direction of your lines will tell your viewer the direction of that hair, and you can add just some light lines here to indicate the swooping motion of that hair, and I think I'm done.